the buffering. It was buffering. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's live. I'm just now getting on. I had technical difficulties, but here I am. This will be unedited. It's coming to you live, and let's just say it's raw and live. For those of you who have not yet met me, I'm Priscilla, and I'm really happy to be with you today to share with you some thoughts about how we are doing in empowered living. 2 years ago, I started empowered living, and today we're just about 6 weeks shy of being at the good old age of 73. Scripture promises us about 70 score and two, or 70 score and three, or something like that. I'm just really happy that I have the energy, the stamina to be on YouTube and share with you guys a little piece of my life and things that I'm doing to stay empowered, to stay healthy and invigorated. So, if you followed me up to this point, I'm going to start out by asking a huge favor. I want you to stay long enough, which would be maybe 10 minutes or so, to hear what my introduction is truly about. And my introduction is about me. I'd like to invite everyone who sees this live stream live, those of you who will see it and watch the replay, I want to invite you to participate in my 73rd birthday. No gifts are required in terms of something that you can tangibly put in my hand, but I'm going to ask a huge ask in that I want to meet the deadline and cross that finish line that YouTube has set for us to cross without being, I don't want to say punished or penalized, but for some, it will be a huge punishment. I want to cross that finish line with a big smile on my face, knowing that I succeeded at what I set out to do. And I want to do it before my 73rd birthday. In the community post, I'm going to put a request there for those of you who truly want to support me. I want you to volunteer to watch a playlist. And while you're watching that playlist, it does not mean that you need to watch it all at once. But before my birthday, I would like for you to be able to say, "Happy birthday, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Priscilla." And you have actually watched, listened to, or played that entire playlist. My thought for today was to do this live outside, but man, it is about 99.5 degrees outside, and I just didn't feel that I would have the energy to sustain myself for any length of time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever, because it is tremendously hot outside. I want to take a moment and say to Gertzink, thank you for joining me all the way from Turkey. And I'm talking about my birthday celebration right at this moment. Today, I am 72, but at the end of September, I will be 73. So I want as many people that want to participate in my birthday celebration to start celebrating with me today. And while you're participating today, I know that those are all the candles that you would help me blow out in celebration of my grandiose day. Instead of being outside, I am downstairs in the basement on my stationary bike. And I've been on the bike now for 5.5 minutes. I've gone 1 full mile. And that's probably about right, because when I'm walking, I can walk in the gym. I can do the perimeter of the gym in about 7 minutes. And I had gotten off of this bike because the laptop was just buffering. And I'm like, my word, what's going on? So thank you so much, Jersey, for showing up for me. You are my first person in. Know that I value and appreciate you, and I'm inviting you to participate in my birthday celebration. So at the end of this live today, you will have an opportunity to go to my community post and volunteer, if you choose to do so, to watch that playlist. Now, when I finish this live stream right here, you will see this video as the first video that will be there. So you'll know that this is the one that I was talking about today. So again, at 72, which is what I am now, it is what I want for my birthday. In lieu of gifts, I want people to help celebrate by watching my playlist. And if I get at least 25 people to watch that playlist, I will definitely cross the threshold of being in the YouTube partner program. And that will put me there a lot sooner than I had planned to be. So again, welcome to my live stream. And although I had planned to be on the porch, it is extremely hot. So thank you so much for joining me, those of you that are joining, and I really do value and appreciate you. I could relax on the porch, but this is something that I needed to do anyway. I needed to come out and get on the bike. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm actually riding the bike. And Grzink, again, thank you so much for being here. I have my notes ahead of me that I want to be sure to talk about today. And I wanted to tell you that I was listening to a post that Dare to Search had posted yesterday, and I talked about it this morning, but I wanted to talk about it again. I think I was a little tired. I knew I was a little tired, but I wanted to finish that episode of recording. But here I am again. And if you're not familiar with redwood trees, they are huge, huge. I mean, even my hands outstretched does not encompass the size of those trees. But it was a remarkable story. And again, I want to thank Dare to Search for bringing that news article to my attention. There were other things in the article or in the news broadcast, but that one about the trees stood out to me because it resonated so deeply in what I am trying to accomplish, knowing that I cannot accomplish what I want to accomplish by my 73rd birthday. So when I find topics that has a tangible meaning and it resonates with me, this is what empowerment does. Being attuned to what is around you and how can you use what is around you to build a stronger, solid path for whatever it is that you want to achieve. And that article, I don't know why I'm saying an article because it was not an article, it was actually the live news. And I forget what that guy's name is. He is so good. David Muir. So if you're familiar with David Muir, you know that he always brings a wonderful presentation. Now let me move up just a moment and check my notes that I have and see what I want to talk about. So as David Muir was talking about these redwood trees, he and a tree specialist, I'm sure he has a different name, but he is from an Indian tribe that I think I put the name of that tribe, but I don't see it in this portion of the notes. But he had a measuring tape, one that's in a small container as such, and you just pull it. And David was on one end, and the guy was going around, and he didn't even get around the entire body of that tree as he emphasized how huge those trees were. Now, these trees were over 1,000 years old. 1,000. Just think about that. When you hear the word 1,000, let's just say we're thinking about 1,000 subscribers. But can you imagine trees of this size? And they're called ancestral redwood trees. 1,000, not just 1,000, but many, many thousands of years of aged trees in this ancestral forest. They have withstood rain, sleet, snow, floods, fires, and they are still standing. And how is that like pursuing something on YouTube in these YouTube streets? And so I'm going to say that these YouTube streets are crowded. They're crowded with underbrush. They're crowded with other trees that are trying to come up and make their presence known amongst the giants. And all of you, I'm sure, have seen some giants on YouTube. I can't think of a single one at the moment. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, I would imagine, would be considered a giant amongst the YouTubers. But there's still room for other giants that are up and coming. Now, however you position yourself, I'll leave that to you. But I would say that I am an up and coming, not necessarily pursuing giganticism, but if it is for me, it is because I'm doing the things the way that I feel is serving me. And it will be the community that I build that will determine whether I will reach that giganticism. I hope that you're following that. But if you get a chance to learn about these redwood trees, and further down in my bulleted notes, I'll probably tell you where these trees are, but they are in the States, in the United States. And we know that throughout history, Mother Nature is going to ravage through forestries and destroy forestries right along with what mankind is doing. And we all know, or maybe we don't, I don't know, before we had the culture, the community that we have, there were people here in the US. They were known as, I can't think of that name, but let's just say that they are the native Indians that were here. And they were able to live with the land. They were here to live with the animals, amongst the animals. Now, I am not saying that we should not feel good about progress, the things that we're able to do, the things that we're able to have because of our experiences and the quality of life that we have, because we can afford certain things, we can invest in certain things, and things that someone has created, we're able to purchase it, use it. I mean, even from the time of slavery, there were people profiting from another person's indentured servitude. But I'm not necessarily talking about that. There's a time for that and another story. But I want to talk about these humongous trees. And these trees were going, I don't know, to the wayside, especially with industrialization that came about hundreds of years ago, when people who had the equipment, the understanding of what they could do with this wood and how strong and solid this wood is, what they could do with it. And they did. They went into the forest and ravaged those trees and used them for profit. And they took this land from those native Indians, which was their home, their shelter, and everything that one could think of that they needed to live the lifestyle that was pleasing to them. As it turns out, there's an organization that worked with the government, and they were able to get some of the land back and I don't necessarily know if I'm saying it correctly, but they have pretty much given a good portion of the land back to the native Indians. And as it stands today, the native Indians are treating the land as they believe it should have been treated, the way that they were treating it years ago. So these trees are finding that the animals are coming back. I don't know what type of animals, but they look like deer, but animals that you don't typically see were becoming extinct, but they're coming back because of this partnership that this group of people developed, and they got permission from the US government to give this land back to the native Indians because they are the ones who really know how to preserve that land. Um, the older those trees are, and as tall as those trees are, it has not inhibited their ability to do what they do, which is thrive in the forest. And while they are thriving from the bottom all the way up to the top, there's a whole other ecosystem in the top of those trees. And I'm going to share with you how I had interpreted what I understood from watching David Muir on the news, and how does that relate to me? How does that relate to my relationship with a growing community? And how does that relate to how I'm going to become bigger than the stuff of me of one? So as those tall trees are getting bigger, wider, taller, the native people realize they do need to come in and, what do we call that word? I forget what it's called, but we want to, what we do to plants, it's not curate, but we're going to thin it out, for lack of the right word. They're going to go and thin out that population of trees so that, let's call these things elks, so that the elks can get through the woods and do what they do, mate, play, and raise their families. Because when, during the industrial age, and again, this is my interpretation, people who had the machinery, they didn't necessarily have the machinery that they have today. They just went through and just cut this, that. There was some organization, but not the type of organization that they're using today. So the native Indians are correcting that trajectory by maybe removing huge stumps and reseeding, if you will. I'm not necessarily knowing that they're going to reseed, but they're making it such that trees can live another thousands of years. Trees, of course, you and I will never see, because one, we're not going to live to that age of 1,000. Now let me see if I can bring this a little closer to YouTube. As we are in our own YouTube community, partnering with another community, and maybe even going into those areas where, I love to talk about the raid. But before I do that, let me check to see if I have any visitors here on this channel. I'm down in the basement, so the reception is not so perfect. And I don't see that there's any comments yet, but I don't necessarily know how to hold the phone either to make sure that there aren't any comments. You can see I'm struggling with this phone, but I make no excuses for that. This is just what I do. I did set it up, but now that I've pressed 4 or 5 buttons, I've probably got myself, there's that. And okay. All right, so I have my cell phone now. As I said, I wasn't sure who was going to be here, and I'm just talking. So I want to say, thank you very much for being the first person in. Chacha Roz, thank you so much for coming. I don't recognize your name, but I appreciate you. Hey, Cricket Peach, thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate your support. And there's Christy. Hey, Christy, thank you so much for coming. So if I haven't acknowledged everyone, it is because I don't see you on my small phone, but I'm doing my very best and I'm riding my bike. So I wanted to tell you how I'm seeing the news as it relates to building a YouTube community. You may think that, oh, it's getting so crowded here in YouTube. And it is getting crowded. When we were being raised as kids, my parents had 6 kids together. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm the third girl. So there are 6 of us, and we lived in a 4-bedroom house. The girls had 1 bed. We all slept in the bed, and we didn't kill each other. And as my brothers aged out of the house, I would imagine it was my oldest sister. It was. She got their bedroom. My brothers are older, so she had her own room. And then it was myself and my younger sister, that is 4 years younger than me. Now, at the age that we are now, it doesn't really matter. But as kids, we still enjoyed playing with each other. So it wasn't a bother that we shared a bedroom together. Now, what does that mean as it relates to this forest? Well, thousands of years ago, there was enough animals running through the forest to keep the underbrush and everything from overtaking the trees. They forged out a path so trees knew it couldn't grow on a path that had been traversed every day, all day, throughout the day and throughout the night. But with the industrial revolution, maybe, and the new machinery, with the way that those trees were cut and the animals that were killed off, the trees just kind of grew haphazardly, or they didn't grow well at all. And the indigenous people that would be the ones, the protectors of the land, that is time for another story. They were not there to protect what they knew and understood how to treat. When you are in a community, and I hear it has not happened to me, or if it has happened to me, I don't let it affect me in the way that I hear some people say that it affects them. I have not had anyone come to my YouTube community and harass me or make me feel as if they want to insult me to some extent that I changed my way or my manner of doing things. I just think that these individuals are probably people like children. They just want attention. And the more attention you give them, the higher the rise of whatever it is that they're doing that is distasteful to you, that they will continue to do so. But there is benefit in having those individuals there. So much for that. Now, here's the good part of knowing that you are in a community that is growing and thriving. Observe what is going on. Now, the trees didn't necessarily or don't necessarily have a brain, or maybe they do, they have a tree brain, that when the wind and the storms are coming, you can see the trees dancing in the wind. And to me, that is their way of pulling together to brace the wind, to keep the wind from blowing them over and uprooting them. And to me, that's what a true community does. And I love having a reference point. Christy came on yesterday, and I said, Christy, if you go live, I'll be there to support you. And it was my intent to be one of the first ones there, but she is an overachiever. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm late. But as I listened to the replay, Christy had been on for 15 minutes. And that was fine. I got to listen to what she said. And she said that she was on early because the instructions said, come a few minutes early. That is what I call, not in a negative sense, an overachiever, but someone who wants to do things right. I came 15 minutes late today. Wasn't necessarily my fault, but truly it was. But I'm okay about it. I'm downstairs in the basement, and it was just twirling and twirling and twirling, or buffering, so I couldn't get on. Somewhere there's a point that I'm making, and I have my bullet points right ahead of me. But when you have a community that will support you and tell you, keep going, keep going. Christy had, I don't know, 20, at least 12 people in her very first live. My very first live, it was just me and the computer. But I was okay. I knew that I showed up, and I showed up for myself. And I appreciate the efforts that has gotten me from then to where I am now. But it's from the community. So the trees, these long-standing trees, they pull together and they brace themselves to support each other from the weather. The conditions of the bark or whatever these trees are made out of, it's not flammable. It's carbon something. And I'm not that much of a technical person, but I do remember that that's what it said. So Crooked Pete says, I tried to learn how to edit some today, walked away just before I started to cry, frustrated. And it's okay. Tears are okay, because put in as much as you want, it doesn't always turn out, even with children. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking 40 some years ago when my son wouldn't eat. What's wrong with my baby? And the doctor said to me, the pediatrician said, when he's hungry, he's healthy, he wasn't abused, he will eat. So I sort of put that on the back shelf, and now he eats everything. Let's see what else. And then I'm going to go back to my story. Nightmare today. We uploaded a video where YouTube picked up a song on the radio. I had to re-edit. Yeah, there are more than 8 billion people on the planet. It's not actually crowded on this planet. It just seems like it. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Judy. Hey, Judy. Thank you so much for showing up for me. I appreciate you. Yeah, it seems like it because we have tunnel vision. We have those little blinders on like the horse. But if you look at it, oh my gosh, it is more room for people. But we are Americans, let me just say. I know that we are from the microwave society. Instant. I want it now. I saw it. I saw someone else do it. And I believe I can do it just as well as they did. But every magnificent person that we have seen or that you have seen, they started at ground zero. They may have increased their abilities and their skill sets faster than some, but everybody starts at ground zero. And we have to remind ourselves of that we all have to start at the very beginning. You a little bit anxious. Christy says, I honestly couldn't believe it. Yeah, but you did great. And we all will grow better. And I need to get back to why I'm doing this live today in the basement, because I'm asking everyone to help me celebrate my birthday, which is about 6 weeks from now. And I'm going to ask you to visit my community post. There's an invitation there to ask you to watch that playlist. And when you finish the playlist, you can say, happy birthday, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, happy birthday. So I don't want anyone to send me anything, not that anyone was going to, but that would be one way that people could help me. And I put 25 people, but I think I'm going to change it to 73 people. I'm asking 73 people to help me by watching this playlist. Watch the playlist at your own time. Stop it when you don't want to watch it anymore. Just remember what video you're watching or however you save it so that you can start again. So within the day, from the day that you start and until you finish, remember you're thinking of me and you're helping me celebrate my birthday as well as crossing a milestone. When you're going to other people's channels, you may think, oh my gosh, they've got 5,000 subscribers, but yet they don't have 4,000 watched hours. Now, on the simple side, it seems that if you've got 5,000 subscribers, each subscriber, if one of your subscribers spent 1 hour watching a 1 hour video, you should have your 4,000 watched hours within a day. And it is possible. But if you are not a person that knows how to develop a community and build a relationship, that doesn't mean that you can't learn how to build a relationship. So you look at the people that are doing what you want to do, and then when you start to do that, you'll see people will come to you in droves. And one of the things that I try to do is actually build a relationship with the people that I'm talking to. I can actually see your face when I'm talking to you, when I'm commenting on your posts, when I'm commenting on your lives. Now, obviously, I can't go to everybody's live every morning or every evening or however often you're there, but I can listen to a part of it so I know your voice. And that is a way of supporting and participating and helping other people. Now let me get back to my notes. Did I greet everybody? I think I did. So the redwood trees represent strength, age, history, and endurance. And that's what we do on YouTube. It's the history behind, well, how long have you been doing YouTube? Oh, I started last month and I only have 3 subscribers. You started last month? That's not a history. That is probably someone listening to some of these people like I do. Old man something. He's 77 or 76 or something. He became an instant success within, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And I really appreciate what he shared with us who were like drooling from the mouth, like, oh my God, I can do this. Then I learned that he was like a sports newscaster who had years and years of experience talking to people, asking the right question, creating stories that people wanted to listen to. And he wasn't pretentious. He was very authentic. He is well read, and he likes, like me, he likes doing research. He likes finding out about stuff. So when you're that type of person already, you are, I don't know, 25% ahead of many people already. So if you look at old man something, some of you may know who he is. Old man, gosh, I can't think of his name, but that's okay. When you look at someone like that and you think, well, he's the same age I am, I can do that too. And no one is to say that you can't, but he has some skills that you don't have that you might need to polish or develop some skills that he doesn't have that someone is wanting to hear about it. So I go to a lot of different channels. I go to cooking channels. I go to exercise channels. I go to garden channels, and I go to baby boomers channels, and I look at some of the young kids channels. I'm truly not interested in gaming, but my niece loves to be into gaming. My battery thing is on, so I need to plug in my battery. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just plugging in my battery to the wall. And she'll start again. Oh, try to start again. I have a fan in this basement that's on, but I am hot. But I'm going to keep pedaling. And I'm not trying to hold anyone hostage here. So if you need to go, just let me know that you were here by giving a thumbs up and leaving a comment, if you will. And at the end of this live stream, please come back and say, I'm in. So those redwood trees, those trees now are back in the hands of the masters. So I want to encourage everyone, please get in some type of community where you can learn from them. You cannot learn all by yourself, no matter how big, how great you are. Even, well, I won't go to that level because I don't know what's guiding that person, but doctors, professionals, everybody has someone that they go to get advice, to bounce things off of. You cannot do it alone. You can try doing things the way that you want to do them because you think, well, that seems like it's a little redundant to do it that way. And there is a lot of redundancy in doing things. What is the purpose of the redundancy? Look at how we teach our children. We give them the ABCs. And these are just two examples. My grandson, when he washes his hands, so he knows his hands are clean, he says his ABCs. A, B, C, D, and puts them in the water. E, F, G, H, and then he's in a hurry. J, K, L, N, P. And email, did you wash your hands? Did you say your alphabet? Yes. No, you didn't. I was listening. Yes, I did. And he'll go back and he'll wash his hands. And his 1.5-year-old sister wants to imitate him. So she'll spend even longer at the sink, getting maybe every 6th letter of the alphabet. But she's trying, but she's doing it over and over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. So just as you learn how to edit something, I bought Camtasia, which is an editing software, and I've had it I retired in 2017, and I had it before then, and it's 2026 now. I mean, 19, I don't know, I've had it for about 15 years. It still does what I need it to do. I don't need anything fancier if I have to buy it. So I have used it so much that I know how to edit a lot better than I did, say, 10 years ago. Hey, Kendi K. And Kendi K is someone that everybody should go to her channel. If you haven't gone to Kendi K's, please go to Kendi K and you'll learn so much. I think she also has opportunities for people to invest in themselves. And when I say invest in yourself, that means if you want to go faster and farther, you might have to spend a little money. But here's the thing that I like people to be very clear. Spending money is no guarantee. Spending money gives you access to information. What you do with that information is up to you. So it's like you can bring the cow to the water or whatever, but you can't make the cow drink. So there are lots of resources for those who do not want to take that slow way to success. There are lots of people out there that are willing to help. And when you find that you are the smartest person in your group, it's probably time for you to find another group so that you can continue to grow. Um, so we're talking about trees, those red oak trees, and I still haven't found the names of those Indians, but I have my notes. I have to get down and scroll up to see what's in my notes. Okay, these red oaks the story started in Northern California. The land is near Yurok in Humboldt County. So you see, I have to read that. It borders Redwood National and State Parks, which I don't know where that is. I just know that there is a place called California. The property contains approximately 125 acres. Oh, and the Indians' names are Yurok, and it's pronounced Ori. 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 It's pronounced Ori, which may not mean anything, but it's just a little bit of information. So these Ori Indians, or indigenous or Native American people, and it says the most accurate way to identify them is by saying the Yurok Tribe. So the Yurok Tribe now have responsibility for nurturing and caring and getting this land back to possibilities. And that's what we do here in YouTube. When you join a community, stay with that community so that leader or those leaders in that community can guide you to some direction. It's not designed for you to stay there forever, but take from that community what you can, use it to bolster yourself so you can get where you want to go. And here is my takeaway. So my takeaway is something valuable can be damaged. Which were those trees? I'm trying to get back on my bike. Something valuable can be damaged. But anything damaged with the proper attention can be repaired. So how does that relate to YouTube and the information that came down the pipe a few days ago about the changes? Some people are devastated, but those people, most likely, those people that are devastated are going to be people who were just, not all of them, they were just laggards. They weren't really putting pressure on themselves to do anything. And they're not going to put any more pressure on themselves to get to 8,000. So it's not that much of a burden, really. It just sounds like it. Like, oh my gosh, I struggled to get to, 400. But thanks to Christy, and I knew that, I kind of knew it, but I didn't know it. I do have a monetized channel, but I don't always go and read what it's telling me. But if you have 500 subscribers and 3,000 watched hours, you are still going to be grandfathered in. But there's two criteria. So if you're close, you're already close enough to get to 500 subscribers and 3K watched hours. Now, don't take my word for it as the Bible. And I didn't take Christy's word for it as the Bible either. I just went to my channel and looked, and however many down the road in emails, there was the email from YouTube saying that I'm now eligible to apply. I have 535 subscribers on another channel, and I only needed 500. Eventually, I would have recognized it, but now I truly recognize it. So I'm good. Now I want to get to the 4,000 watched hours, which is, what I need. But I'm okay if I don't get to it, but I know that I will. I know that I will. And the point, if you didn't get the point, let me say it again. Those of you who are stressing over 8,000 watched hours and you don't have but 100 watched hours, just forget about the 8,000. Reach for 3,000. If you can't reach 3,000, most likely you were not going to get to 4,000 either. And, that's food for thought. Okay, let me see. Kinda K says hi. Sage advice. Thank you, thank you. Happy Friday. And yeah, you guys greet each other. And I'll thank you all. Let me see if there are any more notes. If you've been wounded by someone in your community or someone says something on your webpage, just chalk it up to what kids say. I just need a Band-Aid. Put a Band-Aid on it and keep going. You're going to survive. You're not going to die because someone said something negative to you or about you. And where am I now? 43 minutes on the bike. Well, I didn't set a time for me to be on the bike. Okay. So here are the instructions again. Those of you who want to celebrate my 73rd birthday, it's an easy celebration. You know how we re-gift gifts at Christmas that we get? Like, oh my gosh, if I get another scarf, I'm going to strangle the person that gave it to me. I don't need another scarf. And yes, I do repurpose scarves. But anyway, my birthday is September 30th. All right. And I'll be telling you this again and again and again. In my community post, there's an invite. I said 25 people, but I'm going to make it more exciting. I'm going to invite 73 people, more if you wish, to participate in my birthday by watching the playlist that I've posted. You can watch the playlist at any time that's convenient for you. Watch as long as you want, when you want. But the goal is for everyone to watch the entire playlist. If everyone watches that entire playlist, then I am absolutely certain I'll be walking through or entering into the YouTube partnership before January 2027. There's no pressure. It's just for people who genuinely want to support me. And those of you who have had the experience of me visiting your lives or my visiting your YouTube channel and offering support, that's just who I am. And if you feel that you want to bring me a little gift for my birthday, I'll accept it with open hands. And a big hug to all of you guys. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I really value and appreciate each and every one of you. If you would, at the end of this live, type I'm in, and I'm going to assume that if you type I'm in, that you want to celebrate my birthday. Now, I know when I ask people to do that, everybody isn't going to do it because I don't always do it. The reason I don't always do it is because I'm either driving or I've got other things to do and I was just listening. But those of you that can, then I'm asking you to go ahead and type I'm in, and hopefully you'll go to the community post, read the community post, and there again, if you wish to participate in my birthday celebration starting today, I would be so happy and delighted. Until then, let me see if there are any questions. Kim K says hi to Tasharia. And Tasharia, I want you to know that I appreciate you. You always show up for me. You show up whether it's raining, snowing, I'm having difficulty with my phone or my laptop. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The same is true of Christy. Christy is where the kites land. Is that everybody? Thank you, Cricket Peach. she shows up too for everybody and everyone. Uh, let's see if I'm missing Judy. Judy, Judy just makes the best videos. Um, they're just they're from the. I don't know exactly where Judy lives, but let's just say that she's in one of the. I think she's in one of the African countries. I don't want to say that she's from Africa because I think when we say Africa, we typically think that Africa is just one place, and Africa is a whole continent. And my ex-husband, had to make sure that I understood that when I talk about Africa, I'm not talking about Nigeria. Nigeria is where my son's father is from. Um, Chacha Ross, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And Gazink, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I really value and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to disconnect from the tube now. I'm going to be on this bike for another 8 minutes, but I've been online live for how long have I been on? I think for an hour. Yeah, I've been on now for, no, I haven't. Oh, no, you guys will be here with me. I'll be here for another 9 minutes. I've been here on this bike. So, this part is just going to be the silent live stream. This is a silent live stream. And I'll tell you this, not because I want to, I don't know what the reason is that I'm telling you, but upstairs, I have a silent live stream going now on my other channel that I am already grandfathered in on that channel. Thank you, Christy, for just reminding me that I could go ahead and submit my request. And it was less than 24 hours that it was approved. When I did it the first time, I have a conversational English class or channel. It's called Speak Excellent English. And most of those students are contractuals, not the ones on YouTube, but I have contractual students who contract to have classes with me. And those classes, for the most part, are just general conversation, practice speaking, answering questions in an interview. And many of my students come to me through the university, not that I had to do a whole lot to get the students, but just being a good-natured person, staying in connection with people who know that people would benefit from what I can provide for them or to them, that they come to me on a referral basis. But I have a live stream going. And I think Kendi came when I was in one of your sessions. I think you said you became monetized. I don't know if it was less than 3 months. It wasn't long, but you never did where you had, I don't know, a book sitting and that's all that was going. Well, right now, the only thing that's going on the other channel is the view outside. Now, if one of the goats, we have 6 goats on this property, if one of the goats happens to, or all 6 of them happen to walk past, then that will be captured. And occasionally I'm back in front of the camera, just thanking everybody for coming. But it's just on that channel, I just need right now the subscribers, but I've already crossed the threshold for being eligible for partnership, or I don't have to worry about it. I have 535 subscribers and I think about 7,000 watched hours. So I'm good there. And it's not that I know an abundance of anything, but I know the value of patience and not trying to rush through anything. I just take my time. Thanks, Christy. I knew I could count on you all the time. Well, you're already doing a great job supporting me already. Um, and Miss G is fabulous. Miss G is fabulous. So she has encouraged me. I have set up the opportunity now to have a raid. So next time someone is doing something and you want to practice to see if you can send me some of your people, I'll be happy to receive them. On this channel, I would need where am I? Well, I have the 1,000. I have 1,000 subscribers on this channel, so I can actually take some people over to someone else's raid. But I don't know anyone's raid that is going on right now, and I've never done it before. So before I say if anybody's having a raid, I'll bring my crowd over. But I am looking forward to doing that and growing and expanding everything that I am, everything that I am becoming. But I love being on YouTube. And at night, like last night, it was midnight. I wasn't sleeping. So I got on YouTube and I started talking. And I talked about those redwood trees, not in this channel, but in another other channel. Okay, so what is the benefit of having different channels? People have different channels for different reasons. I have different channels because I have a grandson and a granddaughter, and I'm creating the status of that for them now. And the other channel, you all have to go and see my legacy channel. It's Building a Legacy Farm. And I uploaded a video. It's just 1 minute long, but it's so pretty, I think. And it shows how my son has manicured the forestry area for the goats that we're getting. We're getting 21 goats next month, or this month or next month. We're waiting for the vet to come and castrate the goats, the male goats, because we don't have the capacity or the bandwidth in our head to manage more than that. So we're going to do that. We'll eventually expand to meat. Well, they will be meat goats, but we're going to have our own, for lack of what I want to call it, where you butcher the animals, because they have to be FDA, have the FDA inspection symbol or sticker. I won't be doing any of that. You all know I have this garden, but I'll be working on my garden. So what has happened to my battery? I must have kicked it. Okay, I've got 3 minutes more. Thank you guys for staying in for the long haul. If you weren't here to stay, that's okay too. I appreciate the activity, the action that you all have provided for me. And I'm almost tired of pedaling on this bike, but I'm not pedaling fast. I'm just going at, I don't even know. I've expended 176 calories. I'm going at 15 miles per hour. I've gone 11 miles, now 12 miles. I've gone 12 miles and I'm on level 8, whatever that means. But I am pedaling along and I'm not walking in the heat, but I feel like it. I feel like it. Oh, I feel like it. And I'm going to go up and drink a bottle of water when I'm done. So everybody, again, thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up for me. And we've got 45 seconds more and we can call it a wrap. Woo! Well, it will be a wrap on YouTube. I still have 4 minutes more on the bike. And I'm going to do those 4 minutes on the bike. But I won't do them with you guys hanging on. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and your attention. And Christy, look how many people came to my live. It makes me happy. It makes me happy that you guys are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, if I said 300, I meant to say 3,000. 3,000 watched hours, not 300. But if you have 300, you can get to 3,000. But if you don't have 100 and you don't see the needle moving, you need to get into like Ken Kay's community, get in LaShonda's community, get in Christy's community, get in someone's community and see how they are connecting. They're not just doing a drive-by and saying, hey, I like your live stream or whatever. Now, I do have some very short ones, but for the most part, I have a lot more. I have at least 2 or 3 sentences. All right, this is 1 hour. Thanks, guys, for staying with me. I'm Priscilla, for those of you who are just meeting me for the first time, and it was my pleasure to have you all as my co-hosts today. Namaste. Bye. Go to my community page and type I'm in.